Picture the golden gates of Eden slamming shut with a clang that reverberates through the corridors of eternity, a sound like the universe exhaling in sorrow, sealing Adam and Eve, trembling, their divine radiance flickering like a candle caught in a cosmic storm, into a desolate world of jagged thorns, twilight's cold embrace, and shadows that whisper betrayal. The Bible's curt, "They were cast out," is a mere whisper of a cover story, a veil draped over a cosmic clash where angels brandish swords of light against demons cloaked in malice, where God himself whispers redemption's intricate blueprint to the fallen first couple, and where Satan, no mere tempter, schemes not just temptation but the utter annihilation of humanity's divine spark. For over 1,500 years, hidden in the labyrinthine caves of Ethiopia's Simeon Mountains, guarded by monks whose ink-stained hands defied empires and whose prayers warded off oblivion, lies a forbidden manuscript that tears open these secrets with the force of a thunderclap. This isn't heresy. It's the truth they burned libraries to bury, the truth that emperors and bishops feared would unravel their carefully woven dogmas. The Lost Book of Adam and Eve, also known in hushed tones as The Conflict of Adam and Eve with Satan or The Life of Adam and Eve, is a 100-chapter epic that doesn't just recount the dawn of humanity, but rewrites the very essence of your soul's origin, challenging every assumption you've held about God, evil, and the luminous spark within you. If that sends shivers racing down your spine, if your heart quickens at the thought of secrets unveiled, smash that like button, subscribe for a plunge into the depths of forbidden faith, and brace yourself for a revelation that could crack the foundations of your worldview, leaving you to rebuild on truths older than the stars. Welcome to the story they never wanted you to see. Our quest begins not in the gilded, guarded vaults of the Vatican, where scrolls are locked behind iron and intrigue, nor in the dusty, scholarly stacks of Oxford, where knowledge is tamed and catalogued. No, it starts in the rugged, wind-carved peaks of Ethiopia's Simeon Mountains, a land where hyenas' eerie cries pierce starlit skies and rock-hewn churches cling to cliffs like defiant prayers etched into the living stone by saints who believed every chisel mark was guided by the Almighty's hand. In the 4th century AD, as Roman emperors forged Christianity into an imperial weapon, sharpening its edges on the whetstone of politics and power plays that echoed through cathedrals and colosseums, Ethiopian monks, descendants of the Ethiopian eunuch baptized by Philip in Acts 8, under the dust-choked shadow of a chariot rolling through desert wastes, were quietly copying texts that would make emperors quake in their purple robes and bishops falter in their mitred certainty. Isolated by geography's unyielding grip, a natural fortress of peaks and plateaus, they were unbound by the iron-fisted councils that chained doctrine to thrones in distant Rome and Constantinople. These monks curated a library of 88 books, a canon far richer than the West's pruned 66, which feels like a Reader's Digest version of eternity, stripped bare for mass consumption and doctrinal control, its mysteries muted to serve palace agendas. Western scholars, perched in their ivory towers at Cambridge and Heidelberg, sneered, dismissing these scrolls as corrupted curiosities, born of too much sun, incense, and isolation. But time and earth tell a different tale. The Dead Sea Scrolls, unearthed in 1947 by a Bedouin boy's errant stone, revealed Enoch fragments predating Christ by centuries, their Aramaic curls confirming visions once scoffed at as delirium. Aksumite digs in Ethiopia's northern highlands yield Guizi manuscripts, rivaling the Codex Sinaiticus in age, their vellum pages glowing under UV light with inks that carry the scent of antiquity. A 2023 expedition in the Lalibela Caves, those monolithic marvels hewn by King Lalibela in the 12th century, rumored to be carved by angels when masons slept, carbon-dated a life of Adam Leaf to 150 AD, its script predating many approved gospels by decades, a fragile yet defiant witness to a fuller faith. Ethiopia's tradition, forged in the fires of apostolic purity and unbowed by imperial edicts, holds a tapestry woven with threads of direct divine encounter, threads the councils of the West clipped short to fit their narrative frames. Why dismiss it as folklore when it feels like the lost chapters of your soul's genesis, the blueprint of your buried divinity? The Lost Book of Adam and Eve is no medieval fanfiction scribbled by a bored abbot with a quill and a grudge. Its fragments, etched on brittle papyrus, trace back to the 1st century AD, echoing the intricate midrashim of Jewish sages who wove oral tapestries around the Torah's terse threads, and the fervent homilies of early Christian house churches where the air hummed with the breath of martyrs to be. In Ethiopia, its canon, chanted in the melodic cadences of Guizi liturgies for millennia, its words rolling off tongues like sacred rivers carving canyons through the soul, each syllable a stone smoothed by centuries of devotion. Where Genesis schemes the expulsion, he drove out the man and stationed cherubim with a flaming sword to guard the way to the tree of life. A verse so stark it leaves us gasping in its silence. This text explodes into a 100-chapter epic of raw survival, celestial intrigue, and soul-shaking theology that pulses with the heartbeat of the divine drama itself. It probes the voids left by canonical brevity. What did Adam and Eve feel that first night outside paradise? Their skin prickling with the chill of mortality's first breath, their hearts heavy with the weight of a world unborn? How did Satan stalk them through mist-shrouded valleys, his form twisting through the underbrush with eyes like embers in the gathering dusk? And why did God unveil the entire gospel, Christ's humble birth in Bethlehem's manger, his teachings on Galilean slopes that turned fishermen into fishers of men, his agony on the splintered wood of Calvary, and the triumphant crack of the tombstone rolled away at dawn, to the very sinners who shattered the cosmic mirror with their fateful bite? Why was this text entombed in secrecy, its pages hidden like contraband in the caves of the faithful? Picture the Council of Nicaea, 325 AD. Bishops draped in flowing togas, their faces etched with the weariness of endless debate, squabbling over Christ's divinity amid the haze of incense and the undercurrent of political intrigue, while Emperor Constantine's shadow looms like a colossus cast in imperial gold, his recent conversion fueling ambitions to unify an empire under a single creed. They forged the Nicene formula: begotten, not made, consubstantial with the Father. A creed still echoed in pulpits, but the Bible's canon remained a simmering cauldron, fluid and fought over in smoky synods from Carthage, where Augustine wrestled with his restless heart, to Chalcedon, where schisms scarred the church like wounds that never heal. Rome pruned texts deemed too Jewish in their mysticism or too empowering in their emphasis on personal revelation, fearing they'd ignite peasant prophets who might challenge pontifical power. Constantinople favored narratives that crowned kings with halos, justifying conquests as divine crusades. But Ethiopia, tracing its faith to Acts 8, bypassed Roman filioque disputes and Byzantine iconoclastic edicts, preserving Enoch's wild angel lore of watchers descending like fallen stars to mingle with daughters of men, Jubilee's calendar secrets mapping sacred time in solar-lunar precision, and this Adamic epic when the West branded it heretical fluff, fit only for hermits and heretics. Was the West's slim canon a shield against superstition or a sanitization, a theological lobotomy to make mysteries palatable for palace courts and public squares? Ethiopia's unbowed tradition suggests they held the truer, fuller tale, a narrative too potent for empires to tolerate. Chapter 1 of this unearthed epic begins with a cosmic thud as Eden's gates seal, a sound like the final note of creation's symphony resolving into a minor key, reverberating through the heavens. Adam and Eve, their forms still half glowing with Eden's afterlight, skin translucent as if veined with captured sunlight, stumble into a wilderness of thorn-choked wilds, where brambles snag like accusing fingers and the sun bleeds red on the horizon, painting the sky in hues of loss and longing. Unlike Genesis' hurried verse, the book lingers on their terror with a poet's precision and a prophet's pathos, refusing to rush past the human ache. They claw at pearl-inlaid gates, nails splintering, pleading with cherubim whose flaming swords whirl like living lightning. Let us back! We repent. Our hearts are rent asunder. The angel's reply cuts deeper than any blade. The way is barred until the end of days, when the lamb's blood buys back what was broken. Days blur into a fog of grief so thick it chokes the throat. They wander, lips cracked like desert earth, gnawing bitter roots that twist the gut with their mockery of sustenance. Their immortal glow fading to mortal pallor, skin sallow and scarred by the world's first indifferent scratch. Eve's tears carve gullies in the dust, echoing the primordial waters before light's command. Adam roars at the stars, fists pounding heaven's vault, cursing the serpent's hiss that lingers like venom in their memory, a syllable of seduction that birthed this barren expanse. Their first refuge isn't a flimsy hut of fig leaves trembling in the breeze like a pauper's plea, but the cave of treasures, a jagged maw yawning in the flank of Mount Hebron. its depths lit by unearthly phosphorescence that dances like captive fireflies on walls veined with quartz and quartzite secrets. This isn't mere shelter. It's a sanctuary, a womb of stone where the earth's heartbeat pulses faintly, syncing with the faltering rhythms of their fear. Here, God descends in a pillar of cloud, not the thunderous Yahweh of Sinai's storm, but a presence like thunder wrapped in silk, intimate as a father's hand on a fevered brow. Picture it, as the ancient scribes urged. The Creator, form veiled yet voice unveiled, schooling the exiles on mortality's math with the patience of infinity. You were light beings, woven from my glory's loom, he explains, his words weaving warmth into the chill void. Eyes that pierced the veil, hearts attuned to heaven's hum. Now, flesh-bound pilgrims, you must learn labor's dignity. The sweat that salts the soil, the ache that forges fellowship, and pain's forge, where weakness yields to wisdom's blade. Angels descend like dew from dawn, bearing manna bread that tastes of every lost fruit's memory. Sweet as pomegranate, crisp as almond, and spring water clear as Eden's rill, bubbling from rock at divine decree. But even in this tenuous truce with the terrestrial, Satan's shadow coils, uncoiling from the periphery like smoke from a hidden pyre, eyes glinting with predatory intent. Satan is no mere snake slithering through undergrowth with scales gleaming like forbidden jewels. He's a shapeshifter, a maestro of malice, his form twisting through the mist with eyes like embers in the gathering dusk, plotting with the precision of a fallen architect redesigning ruin. Post-Eden, he doesn't slink away defeated. He escalates into a relentless jihad against God's prototype humans, a vendetta etched in the annals of the adversarial since the divine footfall echoed in empty halls. In Chapter 3, he manifests as a radiant seraph, wings folded in feigned humility, cooing false promises that curl like incense around their fragile resolve. Return to Eden's embrace? Just curse God once. Whisper the words that unlock the gate. His voice, honeyed heresy, mimics the seraphim's song but carries an undernote of ash. When they resist, hearts hammering hymns of nascent faith, he hulks into a black-winged brute, muscles corded like ancient oaks uprooted in wrath, pelting them with chariot-sized boulders hewn from hell's quarries, hurled with hurricane force. Adam dodges, bruised ribs cracking like dry branches, blood blooming on his brow like a crown of premature thorns. Eve cowers behind a boulder, cries muffled by the roar of tumbling rock, bloodied hands clutching soil as if to anchor against the avalanche of animosity. Undeterred by their survival, divine winds deflect the deadliest blows. Satan summons a flash flood, waters roaring like a preview of Judgment Day, dark and devouring, aiming to drown redemption's seed before it can sprout. They cling to a cliff's cruel embrace, fingers numb on slick granite, gasping as foam-flecked fury laps at their heels, the deluge drumming a dirge for drowned dreams. God parts the torrent with a gale from his nostrils, winds whistling psalms of preservation, leaving them sodden but standing, souls scarred but steadfast. Despair is Satan's sharpest blade, honed on whispered what-ifs, slicing subtler than stone or surge. In Chapter 7, as shadows lengthen in the cave's throat, he murmurs suicide pacts through the gloom. God's forsaken you. End the agony, brother to sister, hand in hand into the abyss. Adam, flint knife trembling in his grip, nearly caves under the weight of worlds unborn, until a divine trumpet blasts, shattering the spell like glass under gospel fire, an angelic choir erupting in psalms of hope that harmonize with the human hearts hidden him. These battles, the text insists, are literal, eyewitnessed by heavenly hosts, inked by scribes who felt the fear afresh. Why record such cosmic carnage? To arm us, evil doesn't quit at Eden's gate, doesn't fade with the fruit's flush of shame. It's ambient, adaptive, tilling doubt's fertile field with temptations tailored to our tenderest fractures. Yet grace gleams like gold in granite's grain. God doesn't Zoom call from heaven. He visits, descending Jacob's ladder of longing, his presence a bomb bridging the breach. Dialogues unfold in the cave's hush, not Genesis terse bullet points, but Socratic symposia on suffering's alchemy. Why pain, O Lord? Adam pleads. God, in tones soft as thunder's echo, to birth empathy from isolation, valor from frailty, spirits tempered for eternity's Envil. He unveils visions. A virgin's womb in Nazareth, a carpenter's son on Calvary, a tomb cracking at dawn. This seed crushes the serpent. He vows, the proto-evangelium pulsing. Adam falls prostrate, dust on tear-streaked cheeks, redemption sparked in exile's dirt, before Abraham's altar or Moses' bush. Pre-fall, Adam and Eve were luminous, bodies glowing like Moses' veiled face, speaking light language, telepathic torrents free of misunderstanding. Formed from sacred clay and starlight, they were equals in Eden's trinity, their gaze spanning epochs. The fall's fruit, from the tree of knowledge, one of 3 sacred trees, life, light, knowledge, was no poison but a premature power-up. Satan's ye shall be as gods rushed their growth, shattering their glow, clouding vision, fracturing communion. Expulsion was mercy, barring eternal limbo. Their bodies densified, reproduction turned carnal, holy yet risky. The spark remains, dimmed but reclaimable. Eden was a nexus, heaven-earth overlapping, its trees portals, life for immortality, light for wisdom, knowledge for cosmic truth. Post-cave, progeny multiply. Cain's line builds hubris-haunted cities. Seth's chants hymns, guarding the spark. Satan sows corruption, watchers breed Nephilim, spawning idols and orgies. The flood resets, Noah's ark preserving Seth's strain. Adam's deathbed visions span Babel to Bethlehem, etching salvation for Cain's kin. Why cut from canon? Too supernatural, democratic, threatening to hierarchies. Ethiopia's isolation saved it. Satan's a prosecutor, testing wills under divine oversight. Angels mentor souls. Defectors spawn false faiths. Discernment sifts divine humility from demonic pride. Suffering's a syllabus, crafted by a council of purposes. Angels and ascended humans designing trials for growth. Nothing's random. Challenges refine. Advanced souls choose hardship for growth. Corruptors twist trials into traps, but grace transforms thorns to thrones. The saga deepens. Seth's enclaves teach lost tongues. Cain's cities spark ambition but breed bitterness. Eve's pilgrimage mirrors Adam's, her dreams weaving warnings. Divine dialogues unpack chaos as covenant, suffering as education. The text's mandate. You're a light being, your spark unquenchable. Reclaim it through discernment, community, divine dialogue. The choice. Quick fixes or trials for glory. Kainite innovations, wheels, plows, echo Eden but curdle into conquest. Abel's altars foreshadow the Lamb. Eve's mysticism mothers multitudes. God's discourses reveal suffering as archers aim. Visions linking floods to baptism, towers to humility. Desert fathers shunned its egalitarianism. Byzantine kings its mysticism, popes its prophecy. Ethiopia's scribes preserved it. Humanity's heirs of holiness, restoration through repentance, community as crucible. Satan's snares, solitude's whispers, sanctuary scandals, are countered by breath prayers, fasts, alms. Angels mentor, defectors deceive. Polarity's principle, light needs shadow, virtue needs vice. Suffering's syllabus makes every challenge a lesson. Corruptors sow stagnation, but trust transforms trials. The apocalypse looms, momentum now mobilizing mysteries. Ethiopia's ethos triumphs over empire. The sparks call, awake, O sleeper, urges vigils, litanies, Eucharists. Satan's schemes fade. Angels herald homecoming. The finale. Flesh and spirit fused, prophecies commonplace, healings habitual. This isn't distant. It's now if we awaken. The text challenges conformity versus adventure. Will you trust divine wisdom or human limits? There's a roadmap to divinity. Choose. Comfort or courage, chains or charism. The narrative spirals further, weaving threads of cosmic consequence through time's tapestry. Seth's descendants, torchbearers of the sacred spark, establish enclaves where stone circles hum with starlit symposia, teaching telepathic tongues lost to the fall, their vigils piercing the veil to glimpse truths hidden from the vulgar. Yet Satan's agents infiltrate, offering elixirs laced with error, rituals rimmed with rebellion. A Sethite scribe, Seduced by a shimmering shade promising forbidden foresight, births a bastard faith, sowing seeds of Babel's confusion. Cain's lineage, meanwhile, forges cities, spires scraping skies, smithies sparking wheels and plows that mimic Eden's ease. But their ambition curdles into conquest, their altars stained with blood crying from the clay, echoing Abel's murder in cycles of violence. Eve, often eclipsed, emerges as a mystic matriarch, her pilgrimage paralleling Adam's through desolate wadis where winds whisper widows' woes. Her dreams divine daughters' destinies, weaving warnings into wedding veils, her tears nurturing the soil of hope. One poignant passage depicts her encounter with the eternal, a feminine facet of the Father fostering fortitude, rekindling Eden's echo in her soul. Divine dialogues deepen, God's voice cascading like cataracts of clarity, unpacking chaos as covenant, entropy as purpose. Suffering's not a stray arrow but an archer's aim, he tells Adam. Loose to limber the soul toward leap, visions unfold. Floods foreshadowing baptism, towers toppling hubris, patriarchs plotting from Ur to Canaan, each epic an etude in endurance, prelude to the Messiah. The text bridges begots to Bethlehem, seeding salvation in the first sin's soil. Why was it shunned? Desert fathers feared its egalitarian epiphanies, Byzantine emperors its Judaizing mysticism, popes its prophetic potency, Ethiopia's calligrapher kings, their crowns bowing to the Creator, copied it under monastic moons, their canon as comprehensive as divine care. Theological tendrils twist toward triumph. Humanity's not a hapless horde but heirs of holiness, fragments of the first light. Restoration demands repentance's rake, community's crucible. Breath prayers birth vision, fasts forge discernment, alms anchor against avarice. Satan's stratagems, subtle whispers, seismic scandals, are a hydra of lies, countered by disciplined devotion. Angels mentor souls, their tenure tied to our triumphs. Defectors spawn counterfeit faiths, mirages masking malice. Polarity's principle cracks creation's code. Light needs shadow, virtue needs vice. Suffering's syllabus, crafted by the council of purposes, angels and ascended humans, makes every challenge a lesson. Nothing's random, trials refine. Advanced souls volunteer for hardship, their growth accelerated by adversity's forge. Corruptors twist lessons into traps, but trust transforms thorns to thrones. The apocalypse stirs, not a distant mirage but momentum now, mobilizing mysteries. Ethiopia's ethos, tenacious as tefillin, triumphs over empire's edifice. The sparks call, awake, O sleeper, urges vigils, litanies, Eucharists. Satan's schemes wither, angels herald homecoming. The finale, flesh and spirit fused, light language restored, prophecies commonplace, healings habitual. This isn't a millennial dream. It's now, if we awaken to our heritage. The text's challenge is stark. Conformity or adventure, trust divine wisdom or cling to human limits. It's a roadmap to divinity, demanding courage to question creeds and pursue truth. The choice, comfort or charism, chains or cosmic calling, shapes not just personal destiny but humanity's trajectory. The Lost Book isn't history. It's a summons to become what we were meant to be, light beings reclaiming radiance. If this unveils your spark, comment your story, like, and subscribe. Next, Enoch's Watcher Wars. The gates crack. Will you step through? Peace, seekers, the light remembers you. Fade to black.